People, I'm going to talk about a subject I've talked about for many, many times. And it's about the simple polarities and things about attachments, dark spirits, dark forces, negative energies, black magic, all this other stuff. You can look through the rest of my videos here, and I've tried to touch on this subject in different ways. And I have to always remember, since I've been in this a while, I have a tendency to state things as a matter of fact when to other people it's a new issue, and I apologize for that. By the way, background noises, it's raining, I'm in a camper. Okay. I've had so many people write me, actually I should say so many women write me, with these things about negative energies, attachments they feel as black magic's on them, and they're asking for my help on this. First off, I have to tell you that I need more information. And a person that would just tell you, yeah, they can help, and to do something like spread salt around, burn some sage, bring down the white light, that person that told you that is an amateur. Totally inexperienced amateur leading you down the wrong road. Period. Now I'm going to go back for the people who haven't read or heard my other videos talking about this. We have to go back to the simple polarity of male and female. Men are projective energies. Women are receptive energies. That's just a simple... And I'm just... Forget all the gender fluid, all this other narrative bullshit. Let's just keep this stuff real simple. XX chromosomes, XY chromosomes. And yes, there's exceptions to every rule. And the example I use for so many subjects, but it applies to all of them, a woman can take one cell from a man and create an entire human being. And she can do that with energy signatures of various types to create various perceived and accepted realities. And she's great. She is the altar in sacred magic or sacred sex magic and so on. At this time, when a lot of New Agers are like, oh, well, the veils between the worlds are thinner, that concept right there is completely wrong. And I could get into a long video about why, right along with astral projection. But keeping it real simple and short on this video. Ladies, young girls, if you're around a place that could be considered a ceremonial site in any shape or form, it's possible for you to pick up residual energy signatures, meaning you have to go back into one of my videos about programming inanimate objects with animate life signatures. Anything, a place where they were doing sacrifices, whether it's chickens or people, that's what it can have a residual energy to it. Where they were doing sex magic, okay, residual energy to it. Just any sympathetic magic, meaning create an altar for something they want to create in the future, or a voodoo doll, any kind of effigy, is sympathetic magic. Of what people call white and black magic, or, again, perceptions, the whole terminology is that completely wrong. Then you can pick up something that's going to use the same life force generating energy signatures and mechanisms in you to create something bigger. Now, while people think, well, they said veils between the worlds are thinner, that's why things manifest so much. No, it's because of a lot of it is our astrological and astronomical positions within the galaxy, within the universe, the different energy signatures that our solar system is flying through at a couple 100,000 miles an hour. But you think we'd go through it real quick? No, because these things can be huge, I forgot the measurement to use that. Not light years, but there's something else. But we could be in that for a while. All right. Going into the areas where you have residual energies, you can also pick up attachments. Now, the attachment can be from the area you're in, where you go to do your meditations and participating in other people's circles and sweat lodges and whatever else. But you can also, and this is usually the most common case, picking it up from another person. Just like you would do a flea, a tick, or a sexually transmitted disease, a bacterium, virus, whatever. but you can get it from another person. And so when you girls are like want to go out and do the hookup culture and you want to, be these liberated woman, freedom, blah blah, high body count, fine, that you can do that. I'm not slut shaming or anything. I'm not going to even get into that terminology. However, these clubs and whatnot can be a petri dish for these constantly mutating negative energies that are looking for a new host. And they can, and here's the other part about this too. So this thing, let's say it attaches to the outside energy of the signature of a man, because let's say the man and the woman together, he, through sex, that sexual act, is going to push that energy up into her the same way you would for conception. And then that energy goes into her center. It amplifies, it gets stronger, especially during her orgasms, comes out of her body, back around into the circle of the two of them together, and then back from his outside energy back into his center and down through his sexual organs and back up into her. And it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And so does any of the other attachments. So he, could already have that around him, and that's looking for a nice female host to get bigger, better, stronger. And it leaves her, it goes into the next man to get a more projective signature. And then it's going to go into the next woman to be nurtured, bigger, better, stronger. And it just spreads through, every fuck boy, fuck girl, whatever like that. Now, that's not saying that everybody that has these things went through that cycle, but imagine the flea or the tick that was in that cycle of those people, and then you're around them, or you go to the coffee shop, you go to all these other places, and this thing jumps off of that, sits on the seat, hops on to the next host. It really is that simple. No different than any parasitical energy signature / consciousness / spirit. And consciousness and spirit are not always the same thing, meaning that the spirit could have been someone who used to live on the earth as an incarnation. The consciousness, because of the many constants that they have involved in them, are not able to incarnate onto this particular planet at this phase of its existence. And there's a long explanations of that why. So going back into what gets recommended, sage and salts are, no, think about it. If you have a metaphysical or shamanic theory and you want to test it, if it's true, there's some kind of metaphor already existing in the physical plane. All right, I use magnetism, for example. I'm saying programming inanimate objects with an animate-like signature. It's easy for a magnet to magnetize metals of nickel, cadmium, iron, or those composites. And so a nail can pick up a spoon. We can go into picking up these different types of energy signatures because I just gave you parasitic examples. I don't know how to make it any simpler, people. So trying to get rid of these things. So when it comes to the salt, does the salt really bother the flea or the tick or the other parasite? Not really. What does? Well, let's say the most effective would be a vermifuge. A vermifuge is something that you mix out of your bitters, black willow hulk, grapefruit seed extract, things like that. They go in and you're consuming that, right, to go in and go through your system to kill the parasite. Now then your filtering systems of your body can become a little overworked, and they have to go ahead and eliminate these out of your body. So you could end up with fever and so on. A person that can, and you have to allow this to happen, all right? And this is where it's real important to get with the practitioner, and I use that term lightly, what you should be with the real shaman, to be able to get into you, and you allow that shared energy signature equation to go through your body and killing and eliminating these energies that you feel that are in you or they think attachments. Here is another example of that. So the flea is actually the attachment, or the tick is the attachment. But then once it puts into your bloodstream the other things around you, the flea or tick or parasite can leave. But now you have this other entity to deal with. Okay, I hope that makes sense to people. Leave comments. I can do other videos on the other comments that come with this. So how to get rid of that? You need real treatment from someone. I make things for people to wear that, that's one of the purposes of amulets and talismans. That's one reason, one use for them. But I need to listen to the person's story. The other thing that comes up when people will tell me they have these things that they're dealing with and they need to go ahead and set up a time with me, for a consultation or an appointment, but they keep postponing, I know it's not that serious. Because if it was, if they had a real problem, they wouldn't be able to go to work. They wouldn't be able to do much at all. And it's just a borderline, it's just a hairline difference between that, and a possession. And the mechanisms that allow the possession to happen are intricate in some ways, but very easy to happen. And one of them, and when these girls, again, in different circles, whether it's in just a nice relationship or if they're out, picking up whoever off the clubs, you think about homonyms, okay? Not close on that, look it up. If the girl says, yeah, come in me, yeah, give it to me, or even if you're doing it by default where you're just not saying don't, because when you're accepting that man's energy into you, you're accepting everything that's with him. Okay, that's how energetics work. It's just, you have to have a complete thought with these things, people. You have to have critical thinking with it. If people really understood just 10% of what really goes on in sexual energy, sex magic, sexual exchanges, they'd be a lot more selective about their partners. I promise you that. But with the new age narratives and any other stuff that goes on, they're just mindless. And then they come to me usually when it's almost too late, when it starts to get really serious. And, I can't do these things, and this thing's affecting me, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You have to study what parasites do, especially in the fungi region. They can steer the host into a place for them to go ahead and be released back into that environment. There's one that affects crickets and grasshoppers. They pick it up from the water. They pick it up, and birds. It goes into the grasshopper, and then finally towards the end of the maturity phase of this one parasite, it makes the cricket or grasshopper go into the water and just drink themselves to death and drown. And then when they go down to the bottom, they go back in, lay their eggs, and start the cycle all over again. They can affect the mind of the host, as does these energetic attachments, consciousness, spirits, negative, whatever you want to call them. They can steer the host into an environment that's conducive for their agenda or their life cycle. Don't think they can't, people. And so when you're reading these things on these, like in Shaman Porthole on Facebook. By the way, I have a Facebook group called Shamanic Flow. Asked to be invited into that. I read these comments and things that people would do is just ridiculous. And not only is it ridiculous, it's really dangerous supposition that these things that they're recommending would even work. It's just, don't. Okay, just don't. Leave a comment. If you have somebody, if you know someone that's going through these things, have them watch this video. Have them leave a comment. They can also email me at shamaniclodge@gmail.com. Shamanic Lodge is one word, gmail.com. And I do give free consultations, not long ones, because otherwise that'd be all I'm doing. But you can set up an appointment afterwards and I can help you with that. There's more of this happening. It's spreading almost pandemic style. Again, I'm just going to keep this short. I gave about, I think it was 2015, 2016. I gave a lecture near Bonn, Germany, on dark forces, negative things. Like 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 8 hours on Saturday, 6 hours on Sunday. and I barely scratched the surface. Germans are great audience for technical things like this, you know. But I could have done that I could have done every weekend for a month, and to get out this information completely. That's how expansive of a topic this is, and the applications of it. And from that class came one great medium and two other great shamanic practitioners that I could say actually specialize in this kind of work. But yeah, leave a comment, share the video, you know, like and follow, subscribe, all that. And like I said, if you have any other topics you want me to do videos on, go ahead. I know some people are telling me I put out too much information, you know, but all this stuff, people, this is just like Shamanism 101. It's really just simple. The amateurs, the new age, you know, insta shaman kind of people that never did apprenticeships or got any proper training, they take what I call Shamanism 101 and they make it into this extravagant steps to make it sound like complicated stuff, and it's not. You know, sorry, I get frustrated with this stuff. Anyway, I will end this video. I don't want to go into it too long. Thank you for watching through this. And like I said, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll do other videos on it.